Wait Day 5th grade. Welcome to week 5 of virtual learning. This week we are going to start getting into some Latin grammar, and we are going to be talking about prepositions. All you need is your notebook, a pencil, and your computer. All right, let's get out our notebooks and open them up to the table of contents. And we are going to title our next entry, Prepositions. Prepositions, and I'm going to be putting this on page 5. So then you can flip to whatever clean page you're putting this on. Title that page the same thing. And the date will be whenever you are doing this, sometime between 9:28 and 10:02. Alright, first we want to look at what a preposition actually is. And we can break down this word into two pieces, pre and position. And so we can find, so pre means before, and position is just the position. So a preposition goes before the position, and it describes the location of one noun in relation to another. And the way I was taught to identify prepositions is with this sentence. The bird flew blank the cloud. The bird flew blank the cloud. If you can fill this sentence in, if you can fill that blank in with any word and it makes sense, that word is a preposition. So the bird flew around the cloud, the bird flew above the cloud, the bird flew in the cloud, on the cloud. There's lots of prepositions. But I just want to diagram this sentence really quickly. The bird is the subject. It's doing the verb. Flew is the verb. This blank will be the preposition. I'm just going to shorten that. And then the cloud is what we call the object of the preposition. So we have a preposition, and then the words, the nouns that follow right after are called the object of the preposition. Now, in Latin, the object of a preposition needs to change its ending. So in Latin, the endings of every word almost can change. And it doesn't change the meaning of the word. So if you change the ending of cloud, it would still mean cloud. It just changes what it's doing in the sentence. So if something is the object of a preposition, it needs to change its ending to reflect that. So if you start out with an A ending, it can change to either a long A or an AM. If you have an ending, it changes to a long O, or it'll just stay UM. That's all I'm going to go. Those are the endings that I'm going to review today. This A and O are what is called the ablative endings. And this AM or UM are called accusative endings. So, some prepositions use ablative endings. Some use accusative endings. Okay, sorry you couldn't see that last little bit. So, certain prepositions will take this A and change it to a long A, but other prepositions will take that A and change it to an AM. As a general rule, prepositions that don't show motion or that show motion away from use the ablative, and prepositions that show motion towards use the accusative. Alright, make sure you get this all written down. We are going to continue our notes on the next page. So I'm going to flip the page and write a title. This is going to be prepositions. And then in parentheses I'll write continued. And you can put a date up here as well. It'll be somewhere between 9:28 and 10:02. Okay, now to remember which ending a preposition is going to use, let me wait till this comes into focus. Maybe it won't come into focus. There it goes. So the prepositions follow one of two groups. The first group is what I call the SID space prepositions. SID space is the ablative astronaut. And then there is capipazio, the accusative sailor. So these two names are going to help us memorize which prepositions are ablative and which prepositions take accusative objects. So, we can write SID space, which the second S stands for sine, S-I-N-E, sine, which means without. The P stands for pro, which means for. The A stands for ob, which means away from. The C stands for cum, which means with. And the E stands for ex, which means out of. And then we can write, let's do capitio. And these each stand for prepositions as well. The C stands for circum, which means around. The A stands for ad, with a D this time, which means to or towards. The first P stands for per, which means through. The second one stands for post, which means after or behind. The I also stands for in. Notice that in can be ablative or accusative. When in is followed by an ablative noun, it means in or on. When it's followed by an accusative noun, it means into. The next P stands for propter, Propter, and that means because of. The A stands for ante. Ante means, oh, I mixed these up. No, I didn't. Ante means before or in front of. The T stands for trans, which means across. This S stands for super, which means above. The second I stands for inter, which means between. And the last one is ob, which means because of as well. Alright, so all of these prepositions, the SID space prepositions, will be followed by an ablative noun, while all of these capitio prepositions will be followed by an accusative noun. Alright, now let me make sure you can see all of this. Oh, down a little. Okay, make sure you get all of these written down. I know it's a lot of words to remember, but most of them will come naturally. For example, well, a lot of these are used in English. Like X is used in the word exit. And sub, which means under, is used in words like submarine, which means under the water. So a lot of these are used in English, so they should be somewhat easy to memorize. There is some practice sentences, or phrases, I should say, practice prepositional phrases on Schoology. It is a fill-in-the-blank exercise, so there are phrases that are missing the object of the preposition. It is your job to fill in the blank with a word that has the correct endings. So for example, and you don't need to write this down, if you see, actually if you see X blank, and then in parentheses, Italia, then you are going to fill in this blank with a form of Italia. But remember, you need to change that ending. That A needs to change to be ablative. So you can go back to the last page and find the ablative ending for A. So A changes to a long A in the ablative. So we can flip back here and you'll fill in this blank with Italia with a long A. Don't worry about typing long marks. There is a word bank on the Schoology quiz. All you need to do to fill in a blank is click on the blank and then click on the word that you want to go there. If you have any questions about the Schoology quiz, just let me know. You can message me on Schoology or email me. If you have any questions at all, please reach out. And valete.